John Harbaugh brought in an elite defensive coordinator to fix a Giants defense that before the season we thought was going to be dominant and at least top 10 in the league. Dennard Wilson needs to come in and turn this defense around in year one the way he did with the Titans defense back in 2024. They went from a bottom-tier defense in the league to top 2 in the league in both total and passing defense. Plus, they added 32 total sacks and 11 interceptions. He's going to bring a different scheme and a different mindset than former Giants defensive coordinator Shane Bowen. You're going to see a lot of simulated pressures, and he wants his corners and secondary to be aggressive at the line of scrimmage and press. I got 3 plays from the Titans 2024 season that's going to show you guys how Wilson could get the most out of each unit within the defense. The D-line versus the run, linebackers in coverage, and of course the secondary being aggressive at the line of scrimmage to create a turnover. I'm going to start with how he attacks with run blitzes from his backers, and that could potentially get Dexter Lawrence back to Pro Bowl form like he did with Jeffrey Simmons. All right, we want to focus on these 3 players right here, the 2 linebackers, and of course, number 98 here, Jeffrey Simmons. Let's quickly watch the play, then I'm going to break it down to you. We need Dexter Lawrence, or the Giants defense needs Dexter Lawrence back in this form, just the way he was in 2024. But I want you, so now that you saw Jeffrey Simmons blow it up, I want you to watch these 2 linebackers. Notice how they are attacking. Too many times the Giants defense or the Giants linebackers were waiting and reacting, and that was allowing double teams or guards or centers to get up and get hands-on. And because of that, they constantly stayed behind, or teams constantly stayed ahead of the chains because they were getting 4 or 5 yards a pop. So watching these 2 linebackers blitz and attack, violently attack these A-gaps, a lot of times is going to make these double teams come off faster and allow Dexter Lawrence to have more of a one-on-one situation and get more penetration chances. Now right here, you see them coming up, attacking, bad form by the Jets offensive line. But by attacking, what that's going to do is free Dexter Lawrence up a lot more when it comes to these double teams. And Sexy Dexy's got to get back to wreaking this sort of havoc again, because the Giants defense is always better, 1, against the run, 2, overall, when he is getting penetration and playing behind the line of scrimmage in the other team's backfield. Fixing the Giants' run defense has to be priority number 1, and that starts in the spring, and it starts by the scheme. You want Dexter and the rest of that interior defensive line to reset the line of scrimmage, not just occupy space. And as far as for Dex, less hold and read, more wreck the play. I also believe that Wilson's going to get the most out of the linebacker position too, not just in the run defense, because way too many times last season we saw linebackers out of phase or a step behind in pass coverage as well. Wilson's going to show 6 to blitz, then he's going to back out, and that can get you burnt if you don't have backers that can't read routes and keys in the passing game. So whatever he taught his backers in 2024, it worked, and I'm going to show you why. All right, we're keeping our eyes on the linebackers right here, because too many times in 2025 we saw linebackers lost in space or a step behind when we saw deep crosses, in routes, just any sort of route concepts across the middle. Here, through communication and through technique, this is where Coach Wilson will get the most out of the Giants linebackers in a Bobby Okereke or whomever, Michael McFadden, whoever it is. You see, let's watch the play. You see him go rob the 6 route on the sin concept. So when we talk about the route concept first, you see this guy right here running the seam, and then you got the dig. We call this a sin. Seam in with the end behind it. He attacks, touches paint, and gets in there to get into this space. But right here, through communication and through coverage, you know this backer is well trained. This backer has his eyes on number 2, carrying number 2 vertical with his eyes, gets his eyes back to the quarterback, to CJ Stroud. But one thing that he does great, this is great route recognition by now knowing, okay, 2 goes vertical, 2 is covered. I don't need to go chase that. I have no work over here, and then we have this corner right here that's falling off to help play anything from a shallow cross to anything into the flats. This corner, that's why he has his back turned, because he know he has help on this side of the field. They're walling off this coverage right here. They're carrying number 2, and he's waiting for anything to come back into his zone for him to read and react. So now that he's kind of put his foot into the ground, he's looking. He knows he's got no work over here. He knows that these 2 guys can handle anything that comes over here. He knows, and because his back is turned, he knows he has help when it comes to any of these routes crossing over. You see the safeties doing a great job with communication, him knowing there's no work over here. So I'm going to squeeze, and I'm going to hope, pray that CJ Stroud throws that ball, because I'm going to go rob it. Now you look at this linebacker here, puts his foot into the ground, sees the 6 route, the dig route that's coming back here, has his feet stuck into the ground. He has his feet here, and now CJ Stroud thinks that he has this back window to throw this football in. He has time, and he knows, I'm just waiting for this receiver to cross, and he's going to throw it before he crosses this backer's body. You're going to throw it before this receiver hits the hash, because you're thinking that he's either going to drive on this shallow cross, or I'm going to beat him with the throw. No, puts his foot into the ground, redirects, gets under it, and goes and makes a hell of a play. You want to see the Giants linebackers do that next year in the pass coverage. Create plays, create turnovers in the pass coverage, and it all starts by route recognition, communication, and then going and making a play on the football. You saw a lot of aggressive zone dropping, walling routes. It's all taught, y'all. It's all part of the scheme. Last but not least, he has to get more out of this secondary. The secondary, we all can agree, they're a liability last season. They were not an asset, but in comes a coordinator who stresses press technique, physical reroutes, and corners disrupting timing at the line of scrimmage. That's going to help a pass rush that's full of guys who can generate quick pressures, but they didn't get the sack last season because the ball was out of the quarterback's hands really fast. And here's how he's going to get it done. Coach Wilson is all about disrupting timing, route timing, play design, all of that. And you do that by getting these corners pressed at the line of scrimmage, being violent, disrupting the timing of the route concepts. And that helps everyone from pass rush to backers to safeties over the top. So let's watch it, and then we'll get into how the route disruption and being violent at the line of scrimmage helps create a turnover. Boom, big play. Big play against a division rival. All right, again, I know this is 2024, but this is the attitude. This is the philosophy that's now going to be implemented on this Giants defense. Both these guys, you're getting this too high shell look. Looks like it could be some form of cover 2 right here, right? Playing outside technique on that outside shoulder, corner playing outside technique, usually trying to funnel these guys into the safeties over the top. But at the snap of the ball, you're getting pressed. You're getting these guys pressed. These guys looking like, now it looks like it turns into some sort of cover 4. Some sort of cover 4 with some sort of press man technique. It's hard. If we can't identify it right here, and we're playing Monday morning quarterback, it's hard for any quarterback in the heat of it, in the heat of the battle, when the play is snapped. It's hard for them to identify what the coverage could be. He's being funneled inside. So I'm looking at this as some sort of cover 2 look. No need for him to play heavy over the top, because this corner is applying pressure and rerouting this receiver to go inside to his help. Same thing, go inside to his help. This muddies the water when it comes to where this quarterback wants to go with the football. It's hard to read. And now you know it's not cover 2, because now you got this safety driving this in-breaking route. So now you know it's cover 4. because now this safety knows, all right, I got no work. This guy, he's playing press outside. He's heavy outside. You guys are one-on-one vertical. Same thing, one-on-one vertical. I can have my eyes looking to Rob and help out with anything over top of the middle, because anything that goes deep, he's getting rerouted into me. I don't have to come off this hash, or I don't have to come off this landmark, this spot that much to help over the top. Now I can be greedy and help the linebackers, and I can help this nickel wheel right here with anything that goes across the middle. Now you've got the pressure from a defensive line. You've got your Brian Burns, you've got your Abdul Carter, your Kayvon Thibodeau, whoever this is, coming off that edge, beating the chip block, beating bad technique by the tackle in the back, beating that chip, and now causing havoc, making this quarterback make an errant throw. It gets tipped to the backer, and now that creates a turnover. Violence and aggression will create turnovers, and I think that's what Dennard Wilson wants to do with his secondary. Muddy up the waters so even your most experienced quarterback has a hard time figuring out where to attack, because he knows what the coverage is going to be. But you disrupt the timing at the line, you give your pass rush an opportunity to get there, and that in itself can create a sack, or even better, a turnover. You see it. Giants need more turnovers. But bottom line, this could be John Harbaugh's most important hire. This defense needs an identity, and he's going to bring one. Tough, violent, and disciplined football. Which version of Dennard Wilson's defense are we going to get in 2026, though? 2024 or 2025? The only way is up with the Giants defense, and if all those guys buy in, they become one of 11. This unit won't just be better in 2026, it'll be a problem.